And now the mark. Oh! Oh! It went to zero! Yeah!
Don't get rug pulled. Don't get rug pulled. Don't get rug pulled. Don't get rug pulled. Heard that project is a trap. Don't get rug pulled. Everything they say is kept. Don't get rug pulled. 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 Turn your savings into scraps. Don't get rug pulled. They be plotting on your racks. Whoa, whoa. We gon' know where we at. New USB for my racks. Not slipping, no, I never let. VPN changed the map. He lying, you know that he kept. I know he be hacking. Look at the way I check. The same way I bring racks in. That's the same way I bring racks in.
Damn!
That's the same way I bring racks in. That's the same way I bring racks in. Don't get rug pulled. 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 Heard that project is a trap. Don't get rug pulled. Everything they say is kept.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday and welcome. Did I say Wednesday? Happy Monday and welcome to FUDDERS, the weekly live stream where we talk about all the bad news that's going on in the NFT industry. And this week, our special guest is once again the biggest bro, aka the Rugger. What's up, biggest bro? Thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate you, man.
Of course, you know, trying to get my FUD on the moon.
He's on the moon. He's our local moon boy, sitting on the moon. I know Mo is turning into a moon boy as well. Last week we were not live for FUDDERS because our buddy up top, BE, just got married and he was on his mini honeymoon. BE, congratulations on the wedding with Miss Shelby Cobra.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
No problem. Absolutely. All right, so before we get started, if you guys have not been introduced to the biggest bro before, he's the co-host of VeVe Arcade's Sunday game show, and he's one of the friendliest and nicest people in the community, in my opinion. Very positive person, a little bit of a moon boy. I don't know how we're able to get him on a FUDDERS show, so he's going to give you that the moon boy side of things. Make sure you guys are following him on Twitter. You can see his Twitter account right there. And biggest bro, what are you up to this week, man? How are you feeling about VeVe right now? Are you bullish on VeVe these days? Are you still collecting and buying? And are you happy about the market pumping a bit?
I'm loving VeVe as always. How I approach the market is you sell it for half price, I'm going to buy it. So that's my game is still running good. As long as I don't chase the pumps, it's all good to me. The pumps, you chase the pumps, you're going to get dumped. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, my girlfriend learns that every night.
Whoa. That's smart, though. That is smart. That is smart. Don't buy into the pumps, buy into the dumps. I had to give you a well emoji for that because you are still buying like a VeVe well should. I'm personally keeping my eye on the market. I'm excited about the pump. We're going to talk about the pump when we get to our first topic, bag pumping. And I'm going to start it off with my homie up there, BE. He's the one who mentioned this as a good topic, especially with the market pumping right now. And he's talking about how some influencers are pumping their own bags. The good example that I brought up that I always think of when I think of influencers pumping bags is always the comics and cryptos. They're probably the biggest bag pumpers in the community, in my opinion. They bought up all the low mint commons and then tried to convince everybody that low mint commons were worth more than secret rares, which was a big pump and dump in my opinion. So BE, why don't you start us up here and tell us what you think about the community? Is there a lot of pumping and dumping going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I hate more than people who pump their shit, and especially creators. That includes me, which is why I try not to talk about anything I own because I just don't want to pump it. And it happens all the time. I don't want to name any names, but we know all of the people who do it. And we're probably all guilty of doing it.
Are you calling me out, motherfucker?
Yes, I'm calling. You've done it too.
That's it. I'm out. I'm quitting FUDDERS. I'm quitting.
Even the panda in the background there has done it. Look, right now, it's pumping its back. Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. You know, people are getting desperate, especially those who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then they got to pump their stuff and try to get you guys all screwed. So, as I always say, do your own research, be careful, and don't listen to us. You know, we're here to give you some opinions, but realize if we own something, like if I own something I talk about, I'm going to let you know and take it with a grain of salt. That's what I say. You know, be freaking careful in this space because people are going to take advantage of you all the time. So it just drives me nuts, the creators who do it and try to hide behind, you know, that they said something to get them out of it. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I don't think many people do like it. I don't think it's too super prevalent in the VeVe community. I would say that we should define what pumping and dumping or bag pumping is. I would say if you bought one or two of a collectible because you like it a lot, you're probably going to talk about it on your live stream or in your videos because you actually do like that collectible. But if you buy something, you buy like 100 of them, and then you pump it and then you start selling them all, then that would be a classic pump and dump right there. And of course, I got to point out my one pump and dump that I always get called out for. The Banksy video. All right, look. Here's the thing about the Banksy video.
Facts. You had facts on that.
The thing is, there was this other guy who gave me this really great theory about how the San Diego Comic-Con Marvel poster was possibly made by Banksy. And in my own opinion, I know nothing about art, so I'm like, this guy actually knows something. So I put it out there, and I believed him. That's why I bought 5 of them. And then everybody proved to me that he was wrong, so I sold a few of them, and they got upset that I sold. But I mean, it wasn't because I was pumping and dumping. It wasn't nefarious. It was because I learned more information that proved my silly theory wrong. It wasn't even my theory. Mo, what about you? You do any pumping and dumping lately?
I mean, again, outside the bedroom, there's a couple things about the pump and dump schemes. First and foremost, one, if you listen to a stone skeleton on the internet, you're a fucking idiot. All right, first and foremost. Number 2, I might have a VeVe secret rare logo on sale right now on the floor, but you don't have to feel pressured to buy it. Number 3, anybody that's really wasting their time, again, like you took a shot vault, you were like, hey, I had some info. You of all fucking people should get a pass on anything pump and dump related because you try to go out of your way to give people information to help them. All right. So it's not like you're always trying to pump your own shit behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if anybody, I never really saw you as a pump and dump, maestro on that whole Banksy thing. I felt like you had information helping people out. You know what? It backfires. Shit happens, First, second, third, fourth. I have 3 America Chavez's. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. What better day what better NFT to put in your fridge? Sorry, digital collectible to put in your fridge than America Chavez. Ice cold America Chavez. Anytime you need it, just reach into the fridge. Ice cold America Chavez. But yeah, no, seriously, man. Like I said, if you're listening to freaking people on the internet, get your fucking head checked.
Yeah, absolutely. Take their opinions as just that. They're not facts. And if you want to follow people because you think they're good traders and you mess up doing that, you lose money, that's on you. You picked the wrong person to follow, I guess. Biggest Bro, do you follow any people that are influencers when they say that something is about to go up? Do you run in there and grab it? Or do you worry that they're pumping and dumping on you?
Look, man. The beauty of the VeVe space is speculation. It's what drives most of us psychopaths. That's why I still believe I'm going to get my 3rd wish. I still believe it.
I do too. I do
too. A long time ago.
Me too. I'm like you.
I shouldn't, but I still do. I believe my dream is the dream, right?
Why do you believe it? Because genie lamps have 3 wishes, and in VeVe, they're like, well, you know what? Nah, they only have 2 in all world. I'm with you, man. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's coming. It's coming. But I mean, the thing about this place is this. Look, I have a unique personality where I can listen to anyone, right? And then I just filter what they say. like I'll listen and okay, they're talking about this one. I can see their point, but that's not for me, And most people need to do that. Now, some of these people, they will listen to whatever anyone says, and they'll just it's gospel. I need to buy it at $1,000. No,
exactly.
Just don't do it. But America Chavez for the low price of $704. That sounds like a deal for 4th of July.
There we go.
No, I try to do my best to even in my Twitter, I try my best not to pump the items, but I pump people. Like if I see anybody that's trying to do something creative or any kind of content, I pump them. That's my main thing, and I keep my purchases to the side. Except some people know a couple of my things that I go after, but I try to be quiet because I want to cheat. That's my main thing.
Right, you don't want competition, right?
Yeah, no.
It's true. It's true. Actually, nobody's ever pumped me harder than the biggest bro. I just want to throw that out there. No one's ever in the history pumped me harder, so thank you for that.
Yeah, man. I pump everybody. You bring positivity to the platform, I'm with it,
Told you, that's why we like the biggest bro, one of the most positive people in the community. Shout out to all the positive people in our chat today. What's up, Darkling? Thanks for hanging out with us. Sniper, Mario C, Tito 420. Shout out to Martin for joining the Omi Homie crew. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Roger. We got Alejandro here, Mr. Marquez, BE. Wait, that's BE right in front of me. My bad. Bruin 88. What's up, Bruin 88? What's up, Denny OC? Ahoy, ahoy. Mr. Meta Lemon. I was watching his live stream last night. He's got some great live streams. We got Jeff here as well. Florida Estate Makeover. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fudders. Let's get into our next topic. This is a big one that's been in the community, especially if you're somebody who collects on DC Palm, because Palm has announced that they are merging with Candy Digital. So we're going to be talking about that merger that's happening soon. One of the things that they mentioned about it, though, was that they're going to be able to accelerate the development of the roadmap with their merger with Candy. So I thought that was really interesting, especially since I went and searched for hours and could not find a Palm NFT roadmap anywhere. I don't believe that exists. I don't think there is a roadmap, honestly. So I did read an article that I have linked in the description here for you guys, where they're talking about the merger, and they're pretty much stating that the Candy Digital CEO, Scott Lawn, is going to lead the combined company. So it almost seems like Candy is enveloping Palm, like Candy's the top one. But if you look further into it, into the statistics, Candy, their big number is 2 million because they've minted 2 million digital collectibles, and they have nearly 500,000 marketplace transactions. But you look at the DC NFT universe when it comes to Palm, and they have one of the most engaged platforms, as we all know. We're all engaged with it. Over 450 million social media impressions, over 675,000 accounts. So it seems to me like because of DC NFT, Palm is really the leader here compared to Candy. But if you go and look at some more of the information from that article, it says that Candy is, this is just an important part about their ecosystem. Candy's leading platform on the Palm network. So Candy exists on Palm, which is an Ethereum compatible sidechain. It's a layer 2 that is built to serve as a foundation for new scalable and sustainable ecosystems for NFTs. So I know most of you guys, probably all three of you, are collect on DC Palm, but don't collect on Candy. I don't know anybody that collects on Candy, although they do have some very, very cool IPs. One question that's going to arise from this, though, is the drop system going to change? Is Chromegate going to die because of Candy? So I'm going to start off with you, Mr. MoKnowz, and let me know what you think about this merger between Palm and Candy. Is it good or bad for Palm?
I'm so torn on this, man. Your active listening skills, however, I've been telling you about Candy forever, man. Like I said, they got the baseball.
NFTs all the time. I can't buy all the NFTs.
I know. No, you're just like, I don't think any of these three use the platform. No, I've actually been using Candy since the Stranger Things drop, the first Stranger Things drop. I own quite a few of those. I was snagging like single-digit mints for like a couple bucks here and there. Again, are they worth much right now? No. Compared to what I paid for them, don't really care. I got some like single-digit, Robin Yunts and old-school cards, really good players. So whatever. Like, for the few dollars I paid, that I put $20 into Candy, I don't really care. I think it's great for the platform. Anybody that looks at Candy will notice the UI is way easier to read than Palm. They will be displaying mint numbers because Candy does. So that's a big boost to anybody that's holding low number comics like I am and haven't sold any of them really. So I'm excited about that. But I do agree with you, Volt. Rip Chromegate, 100%. And that's the bullshit of it all, because I would actually trade it all to just keep the drop system the way it is until Action Comics, Batman #1, and Detective Comics 27. But we're going to get fucked.
Why do you think, Mo, that they're going to get rid of Chromegate? Because if you look at the drop systems on Candy, they don't even have drops. They just put stuff up and it never sells out. So what makes you think that they're going to change the drop system because of this?
It's gonna wind up being like HRO. It's going to be you sign in, you click the button on Candy, and they email you and like tell you when you can buy. Because I think the Stranger Things drop did actually sell out. So that was one that you actually had like have a notification. So I mean, that being said, if they run it the same way similar HRO does, yeah, that means the end of Chromegate. That's the end of all that shit, unfortunately.
Oh, that's super FUD right there. The end of Chromegate breaks my heart. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, it breaks my heart. Like I said, man, I'm pissed. I'm a little pissed about that.
Because we love Chromegate. I'm going to send it over to the biggest bro and see what he thinks about it in a second. There was one graphic I forgot to pull up here. This is a free image, a free NFT that they're giving away on Candy. And the reason I pulled it up because they started this giveaway on June 1st. And it's official Getty image that's associated with baseball. It's two little kids, but it's from 1935. And it's a really cool NFT. And you can see after a month, only 1,241 people have minted this free NFT. That shows you how popular. In my opinion, that seems like a very low number for a free NFT. Biggest bro, what do you think about this merger?
I think it's going to be big, only for the simple fact that Candy, like I was looking at the IP since this morning, and they have Major League Baseball, they have NCAA sports as a whole, basketball, football, they have WWE, they have NASCAR, they have the Getty images and stuff like that. Which, I mean, if you get people on it, those are some big fandoms, especially with baseball, especially with untapped ones like WWE. Like, I know I'm a huge wrestling fan, and you give me the right ones, and I'm okay.
Yep.
So, I mean, it just all depends, especially if you're going to combine it with DC. Now, if they're able to take the good things from DC and then the good things from Candy and then combine them and stuff like that, while keeping our Chrome Gate, because we need Chrome Gate. Chrome Gate's amazing. I love Chrome Gate.
Kiss it goodbye, man. Fuck her up. Fuck her up.
That's the back cow utility right there, getting the early access using Chrome Gate and getting the low token IDs. So that almost kills my early access right there with the bat cow. That's the reason why I bought it. Shout out to Scar and Tony Dolce's in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. BE, what do you think about this merger? Do you think this is good for Palm and DC? Is it good for Candy? Is it better for one than the other?
Well, this is what's going to happen, right, in the space. This is what I've been waiting for. People to start buying each other out, and then, the cream rises to the top. To the top, we're going to have to see what happens, but having these companies combine, this is what's going to happen with everyone. There's only going to be a few winners in this space, and they're going to have to do this. They're going to have people buying each other out and merging and whatever. It can only be good. And again, like the biggest bro said, the IPs, the baseball, the wrestling, and then you combine it with, Palm and all of that. I mean, it's great. I think it's good for everyone. I don't know if it, do you know much behind the deal? You said it's a merger. There wasn't a buyout. I don't know everything behind it, how it's happened, and who's getting the money, but it should be good for both, right? Except that I'm worried about that bat cow, right? I don't even have one, and I was thinking about getting one. Does that make it obsolete? I don't know, but I think
it makes it more important than ever.
How so?
Because you're gonna have more people. Because you're gonna have more people, and you're gonna need it, right?
Well, because before it was kind of like when Chrome Gate was for the mint numbers, right, to get low mints. But at least now, if you have the bat cow, at least you got 2 shots at Action Comics. You got 2 shots at Batman #1. If you go in not holding the cow now, you're just going to get 1 shot. There's no way in hell.
They're not changing it? We know for
there's no way.
Not no,
there's no way in hell they're removing bat cow. There's no way. There's no way. Everybody would leave. Every single person would leave Palm, myself probably included, if they just removed that utility. They can't do that. That's probably in the contract. And they're like, listen, Candy, we come to you. This is the bat cow, holder promise that we made, and I guarantee I'd be shocked, man. I'll sell it all. I'll say it right now in the show. I'll sell everything.
How long was the bat cow roadmap for? Because
2 years. 2 years.
They keep telling us though that's not the end of it. That's just the beginning. We give a shout out to Greedy. Shout out to Greedy in the chat. Shout out to Meta Lemon who sent over a super chat kissing Chromegate. Goodbye. Let me give you a bomb for that one. Goodbye, Chromegate. We're gonna miss you. We're going to miss you a lot.
Nice.
In the arms of the wreckage.
Shout out to MD says, how big is your VeVe bag vault? My VeVe bag, I was just checking the value. I'm at like 1.3K on my collectibles and like 600 or 700 on my comics. So I'm at about 2K. However, I had a total under 1K a couple months ago, and I haven't added any money. So I've been going up in the last couple of months. So I guess that's a good sign anyway, right? All right.
Moving on up.
And BE, whenever you said you wanted to know like the details, they really didn't give us a whole lot of details, although we do have an article linked to the description if everybody wants to check it out. The interesting part of the details to me is this line right here when it says the merger is expected. Is that the line? Yeah. To accelerate the realization of their various efficiencies and operating synergies, but also that Candy Digital CEO Scott Lawn is going to lead the combined company, and the Palm co-founder and CEO Daniel Hyman is going to become the president of Candy Digital. So we'll see if that's a good thing for Palm, a good thing for us Bat Cow holders. Hopefully we're still the crown jewel of the project. I think we are. I feel like we are. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Next topic is everybody's favorite NFT platform in existence. It's Quid. I know you guys love Quid. I know we got a lot of Quid users, Quid collectors in the chat. And we kind of wanted to talk about Quid this week because if you haven't noticed lately, Quid's been doing a lot of giveaways where they're just trying to give away some of their top collectibles. And even in this more recent giveaway, they're just trying to give away $100. You can see it's got like 3 likes. And this other giveaway's got like 5 likes. Like, they can't even give their NFTs away. If you look at a recent poll of their usership, this is just over the last 30 days. And even as small as they were before 30 days ago, they're just dropping even further. They're going down, down, down. Even with Cavell Anderson as an ambassador, somehow or another, they still continue to fall. I don't know how that's even possible, those two things together. Biggest Bro, help me out. Help me understand what's going on with Quid. What do you think about Quid? Are you a collector? Have you ever checked out Quid? And what do you think about him?
I checked out Quid just to see what was going on with it. I think for me, anybody that uses weird tactics on trying to pump, like, get their numbers up and stuff like that, I have to just caution. You know, like, I was already kind of skeptical about VeVe at first, and now I'm in it. You know, so like it takes a little while for me to warm up and get in there, but stickers, for me, it's not for me. But, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah, to each their own. We got a lot of Quid collectors in the chat. I know Not Sure is big on Quid for real. Darklink, I don't know if Darklink's trolling, but he says he loves Squid. Maybe he's not talking about the same kind of Quid we are. That's Squid. That's a different. And then Scar wants to know what Quid is. Quid is a digital collectible platform. However, a lot of their digital collectibles aren't actually NFTs. My kid actually got on Quid before I even discovered VeVe, and I've even put a little bit of money into his account too. So he has a little bit of old school stuff on there. A lot of the Rick and Morty collectibles, but a lot of the we lost Biggest Bro. A lot of the collectibles on Quid are not on the blockchain. They're not NFTs. However, a lot of them give you the ability to turn them into NFTs, which is interesting to me. And they do have some cool looking stuff. BE, I'll get your opinion on it. I know you're not a huge Quid fan, or I could be wrong. What do you think about Quid?
I think can you see this?
Thumbs down.
Yeah, no, I don't care, but yeah, I don't
Collect it or reject it.
Yeah, it's one more thing I don't need, right? Like, I am invested in VeVe and a bunch of other stuff. Quid never really did anything for me, and there's no contest that's going to get me involved. So I don't think too many bad things. I just don't know much about it. I'm not involved in it and don't care about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I know about it from the VeVe community is that we just used to always make fun of it. In the VeVe Discord, it was just the punchline to everything, and then people actually did start collecting it. So maybe we shouldn't be making fun of it as much as we do. And I think the reason that I make fun of it as much as I do is just because, like I said, it used to be a punchline for us. Go get you some Quid stickers. Mo, you got any Quid stickers, bro?
I do have some Quid stickers. I also wear a helmet. I mean, you got to be kidding me. We're really sitting around here talking about fucking 3D stickers and shit. No, actually, they have some actually collectibles, I think, on there too. I do think it's comical though, right? They're like, first I got an email. It was like, deposit $100, we'll give you a 20% bonus, and I was like, no thanks. A couple days later, deposit $100, we'll give you a 400% bonus. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then I think the other day it was like, we'll give you a 10,000% bonus deposit guarantee, and I'm like, holy shit. I was like throwing a back row, but I'm in. But I don't know. It's like, why am I even gonna waste my time collecting on Quid, right? It's like, hit it or quit it. I'm just gonna get away from it all. I'm gonna stick to my, my Rainmakers is coming up soon. But they do give away free packs. So I'm not gonna lie. If it's free, it's for me. So I do tend to sign in, just kind of like I do to Chico Rocco every day. Damn it, I forgot Chico Rocco today.
I forgot to.
Son of a bitch. Oh, but anyway, it's like I normally do. I sign into Chico Rocco. I did. But yeah, so yeah, Quid, collect it or reject it, I reject it.
It's funny too because Quid has great IPs. They got Disney, they got Mickey Mouse NFTs, they got like every IP underneath the sun. I don't know what it is about Quid that people don't like, honestly. But you guys are right. What the Biggest Bro mentioned, or I think it might have been BE, about their tactics, their shady tactics. I personally was contacted. If you guys watched my video like a year ago, they contacted me to be an ambassador or whatever, and I wasn't interested. And then they sent me over their influencer notes, and their influencer notes are all about how you got to keep comparing VeVe to Quid to VeVe, and say that Quid is like the Microsoft and VeVe's like the Apple, and they just wanted to put them on the same tier, and it seemed a little bit of a shady tactic to be using when you're talking to VeVe influencers, in my opinion. So that's why I ended up putting it out there, and that's why a lot of people in VeVe don't like them. However, they do got Cavell though, so there's that. All right.
Hey, he's a friend of FUDDERS, man.
Listen,
leave Cavell alone. Leave Cavell alone.
It's funny. I don't know. All right, let's move on to the next topic before I get in trouble here. We're going to be talking about a flying car, y'all. Did you know that the FAA has apparently, and I don't know if I believe this, but apparently, according to the news, fake news, real news, I don't know. It says the first flying car, the Model A, has been approved by the FAA. And this Model A is made by Alef. Here's a picture of it. It is a flying car. I know this is not NFT related. As far as I know, it looks like it could be NFT related. But the crazy part about it to me is I'll try to do some research on this. I got an article down there in the description for you guys to check out. But you cannot find video of this car flying anywhere. And if it's already been approved by the FAA, there's got to be video of this car flying somewhere. Mo, tell us a little bit more about it. You're the one who brought me on to the flying car. I didn't even know this was a thing. What's going on with this?
Yeah, it just feels like a fucking living nightmare, to be honest. Personally, I love cars. I hate flying. So I'm really, really torn on this whole thing to begin with. There's no video of this in action because I don't think anybody's that fucking crazy to actually get in this thing and take a video. I'm saying, man, listen, I was looking through the notes on it, right? It does like 25 miles an hour on pavement. How the hell do you take off from 25 miles an hour? Because if anybody watched Back to the Future, you got to be going at least, 88? So, you know what I'm saying? Like 25 miles an hour, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, and the thing's just going to go up and it's going to go over traffic and shit. And then if I'm the person that's sitting in traffic, I got to worry about some asshole above me that's like checking their Tinder profile or something while they're flying above me now. Come on, man. This shit's out of control. If this thing becomes the norm, you better put my ass to Mars. And the only good thing about this flying car, in my opinion, is it might be able to come pick my ass up off the moon and bring me back to reality. Outside of that, I don't even know. I don't know what the hell to make of this anymore. Every day I wake up, I just want to go back to sleep. And that's where I'm at.
I mean, it's got to be inevitable. You know, eventually, flying cars are inevitable. It's got to happen eventually, and it's going to be scary. It's going to be dangerous. Shout out to Jeff, who says that looks like Adams West Batmobile, an updated version for sure. I'm going to get to your question as well, MD, here in a little bit. BE, though, I want to see what you think about this flying car. Do you even think it's real? Because you seem skeptical to me.
Yeah, I'm not so sure it's real. I'm not real big on flying, especially small airplanes. My uncle flies, and he just had an off-airport landing. His engine went out, and he actually has an airplane that has a parachute in it. Okay. Didn't pull it, and he landed. He survived. Yeah, no, there's no fucking way I'm going to go on that damn thing. Yeah, no way. I actually saw the other day, I saw a car that was also a boat. That I might try. You know, I feel like I could survive that, but yeah, an
they've had those for decades.
Yeah, I know. They've had, right. That I try. Flying car, they can shove it up their ass. There's no effing way that's ever happening. There's no way that's ever getting approved. I don't know. I don't know how that happens. We can't even have cars that drive themselves without killing people. So,
I mean, yeah. You guys sound a little too skeptical to me. Nobody's asking you to be the first driver ever. I mean, none of us want to be the first one to test this bad thing. But we're talking about when it hits the market, it's FAA approved. People are already flying them around. I don't know, Biggest Bro, would you buy one?
As residential moon boy, I am pre-ordered, baby.
I pre-ordered one too because I'm crazy.
Because I'm crazy. I have a Cybertruck pre-ordered. I'm pre-ordering this car. Yes. Will I drive it? No. I will sell it to someone else. But VeVe has taught me just get in there.
Why has it got to be a convertible, though? Do I not get to do any flips or anything? I don't like the convertible part of this.
So what it is the little capsule in the middle. It stays stagnant. Oh. And what the car is going to do, you're going to go up, and then it's going to flip, and you're going to stay it's like the Jetsons.
I like that. That sounds awesome. I'm down with that 100%. Florida State Makeover's got some alpha for us on the flying car. He said it was just approved to undergo test flights. That's why we haven't seen any video. It can't even do test flights yet. And then it says AINS, so I guess the ETA for it is 2025. That's not far away. I'm pumped for it.
That's not far away at all.
Holy crap.
I'm like,
there's some people that like to put in that to test fly. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm like you guys. I don't like flying either. I flew to California for decon, and I think we used, is it Sky Blue, the one that people say don't use? I didn't know nothing about flying, and it was scary. It was all jiggly. I thought the plane was going to crash. But I think in this car, it's going to be a much smoother ride. All right, let me check out the chat. Crypto Doozy says flying cars like 2 feet off the ground. No, we're going in the air. I'm pretty sure that we're not.
Yeah, the picture I'm looking at, this motherfucker's over a canyon right here. All right, this thing is not 2 feet off the ground. This thing is actually like doing about halfway through a barrel roll right now in the picture. Yeah, no, I'm not.
I saw that picture too. I don't know if that was AI generated or what, but yeah, we're not hovering, yo. We're flying.
Those things better be one seaters.
You have to get like a pilot license, right? Like, there's no way they're gonna let me do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Marquez says if this is real, I would, but no, I can't because of airspace regulations and people need to learn how to fly. Can you imagine the traffic? I don't know, are they gonna have? Because if you remember watching Back to the Future, didn't they have lanes in the sky for flying cars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I always envisioned it even growing up. I think before I saw Back to the Future, I was like, there's gonna be like traffic lanes and like weird, like LED, like AR rails going through the sky and shit. That's how I always kind of envisioned it.
Is it possible that this is what Daniel Marquez saw, the UFO? Is it possible that was it?
I don't think it's big enough, but it could be it. Maybe they were test flying this bad boy. I'm sure somebody's test flown it at some point, whether it was on camera or official or not. I'm sure somebody got into this bad boy and flew it up in the sky, and apparently it worked because they didn't give up on it. Yeah, I agree with that, Crypto Doozy. It's probably going to cost a lot of fuel as well. So, yeah, the Alef Model A flying car has been approved for test flights for the FAA, and it is coming out in 2025. This is not FUD.
It's electric too. It's all electric.
Oh yeah, it's got to be electric. Yeah. let me throw a quick hypothetical at you guys because I'm curious. It says on here that it has a life. What is it? 100 miles, 125 miles, something like that.
I think I saw that too. So you can only fly. Fly a little bit, like 125 miles, and then you got to park it. If you're going on a trip, this is not the best vehicle to take.
Yeah, like what happens if you're up in the air and then waves freaking reroute your ass, and now it's like warning, warning, warning. You know what I'm saying? And you just start free falling. Fucking grandma's over in the grandma's over in the passenger seat.
2 miles.
You can go. You can glide now. Now it's a Red Bull. Yeah, now it's sponsored by Red Bull with a flight suit. Okay.
I like that. You can glide down to the ground. That's a good idea. Atomic says after highly successful test screenings, the release date was brought to July 3rd, 1985, giving the film more time in theaters. That was random. Talking about Back to the Future, but they did say in the article that this was. The inspiration was from Back to the Future, of course, obviously. Yeah, if the battery dies, it's a free fall. No, I think they would have some type of special feature as the battery's dying. They would gradually bring you down.
Crypto Doozy said injector seats will be add-ons. Imagine that shit starts going down. It's like, you forgot to get the package.
Nah, those have to be mandatory. Come on.
Your wife's like, I knew you were cheap, you son of a bitch. For $20, you could have got the injector pack.
It's too late now. You're dead anyway. So.
I don't know why we're Jewish on the way down, but oh my god.
Apparently, you turn Jewish when you know you only got a couple minutes left to live. All right, let's get to the next and final topic.
The fish.
We're going to get back into some VeVe topics. We're going to be talking about the VeVe community update, and there's a couple other VeVe topics that we're going to talk about as well before we end the stream. The first one is the community update, which they just recently announced that they are once again doing the update as a tweet. And they're not doing a community update video, which we haven't had for several months now. Nobody else seems to care too much about it. Me personally, it seems messed up. Like, you ain't got time to record it. I mean, how long does it take? What are you doing that is taking up so much of your time that you can't record a community update? Are they on permanent vacation? I don't know. But they did mention that the payout is coming. They're working on it with their new payment processor. So it sounds like they already have a payment processor and they're making good progress on it. But that's a tweet from VeVe, so that hashtag soon on that one. You never know how long it's actually going to take. I don't know. Let's go around the horn. Let's find out if I'm the only person who thinks it's a bad thing or bearish that VeVe no longer does community updates or even AMAs. BE, what do you think?
I mean, they're scared to do it, right? We're going to give them shit if they, for whatever they tell us. So, I mean, it might be smart because we'll certainly say something funny. And what are they going to say? I mean, they're still messing shit up. And although I will say they were fairly quickly the last time they took out payouts, just hopefully this time it includes everyone and not just, the United States, which I think is crap. You can't leave all our friends all over the world without that payout. So it's not good. I think it's, I don't know. I hope VeVe keeps going, but this just seems like one more, nail in the coffin, possibly. Maybe, hopefully not.
Yikes, that was some real funny. He said a straight nail in the coffin. Mo, what do you think, Mo? Is this the nail in the coffin for VeVe?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually, early this morning, Oh, I was on the can. Somebody sent me a recording. I think I can play. Let me know if you guys hear it already. Because this was what the last AMA actually sounded like. When's the VeVe-verse? Soon. Any more questions? Yeah, when can we go to the VeVe-verse? Soon. Next. Yeah, when can I join the VeVe-verse? Soon. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Again, there's nothing else that they can really do or say at this point because all anybody cares about is interoperability, the VeVe-verse, and they can't deliver on either one of those two. And you know, what are you gonna do? Outside of that, though, I still think VeVe is in a great position. I talk a lot of crap joking around, but I really do think VeVe is in a great spot. You know, we talk about it, IP, this and that, and I'm not out here buying shit. You know, just for full transparency, by the way, I own one America Chavez. Okay, it's not like I'm out here pumping shit. It's a joke, it's a meme. Don't ever think I'm really actually pumping it. You know, but like, I collect the things I like, and I think there's certain things like America Chavez, you know, where I look at the mint count, even though me and Vault disagree sometimes on what might be the good mint count for it. I actually like it, you know, and I think it's something to hold on to. So I don't really care at this point. I don't really blame them not for doing anything, but I would like to be excited about VeVe again, you know.
You sound more excited than I am, personally. All right, I'm going to get to the questions or the comments in the chat about this. I'm also going to go back and read the the question that MD asked a while ago, but first I want to get to the biggest bro and see what he thinks about the fact that VeVe no longer does AMAs or community updates that are filmed. Don't you think AMAs, even though we don't know they don't have any good answers, are AMAs still good?
AMAs are great, except that we can't have it. We're not allowed anymore. All we're gonna do is talk smack to them, and they're just gonna we can't like. Here's the thing. Here's what I think is really happening. Mitch is sitting there like, hey man, I don't want y'all to say nothing else. Just let me work. Let me work. Let me put stuff out. Because every time y'all go up there and talk, I gotta deal with this. All right. So let's just do stuff. Let's keep doing stuff and stop talking about stuff. Because y'all was talking a lot of stuff before, and that's why people are mad. Big time. So sure. Do I want them to communicate more and give us the videos? Hell yeah, I would love that. But I understand why they're not. You know what I mean? Hopefully, once they start implementing stuff, once they release, the VeVe-verse and all that stuff and putting some real solid foundation stuff down, they'll come back and be like, okay, so now we can talk about this stuff because now we're in business and we can do this stuff. But until then, they're just going to keep pushing drops on us. And we're going to be like, ooh.
That's what I'm saying. If we're going to keep going for your drops, you can at least talk to us because we are still going for the drops. But even when the times are bad, you still got to communicate, not just when times are good.
But are we still going for them? Well, Platinum Moments, that didn't really sell out. This last Platinum Moment. I mean, that's when I say nail and coffin, I don't really think that they're right. I think their IPs are awesome. But I mean, they can't pull off this Platinum Moment stuff. That's kind of worrisome to me.
Yeah, that's
let me interject something real quick because if you look, like you said, the Platinum Moments, right? How many actually were there of the guitar playing guy?
Like 5,100 or something like that. 5,100, right? Something like that.
And what was it, like 800 sold or some shit like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
If even that, yeah.
60 gems retail.
Jesus. I know you can see why they're not going on doing AMAs and stuff like that. But do you guys think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to basically deploy like Alex and one-on-ones with people on other shows where they're more protected, right? Because if they go on a show with like My Collectibles or, someone who basically creates like a safe space, not only for themselves, but like chat and everything, it also creates a safe space for VeVe to come on and not feel like they're going to be under full frontal attack. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is that their approach now? Just to kind of say, hey, we're not giving you guys AMAs, but you do know you could check Alex, with MC, and they are good, they are good talks. I mean, I'll give it to them. They are good talks, but, I mean, sometimes, you want to hear some real answers, and I feel like without the AMAs and without the community really giving real-time feedback, it's just, they get to pick and choose and, what kind of information we get and how we get it.
Can you guys imagine Rev Alex as our guest on Fudders one time? Would that be interesting?
I would love it.
Good luck. Good luck.
Let me read the chat real quick. Not Sure says it could be the new transfers. I have the fear they're doing it because the business model is not working out. If I do the calculation, it is not working out with payout. I think what he's talking about is that since the drops are not selling out, VeVe isn't making money. They might even be losing money. I'd have to look at the numbers myself. Shout out to Ronnie Lido's in the chat. Meta Lemon says VeVeverse update needed because some bulls keep saying VeVe's going to pop out soon and Grails will be out of reach. They do need that VeVeverse. I think they're a little bit crazy to be buying the Grails right now because most of the people that are buying the Grails are VeVe bulls, and the VeVe bulls think that VeVe's doing the right thing and getting payout back any second now. So if payout gets announced tomorrow, what happens to your Grails? I don't know. If you flip them fast enough, I don't know. Is it short term? Is it long term? Depends on your financial situation and how you feel about VeVe's future, I suppose.
And it's going to be international payout, not just U.S. now. Good so, point. I mean, there's a lot of people that's going to be waiting, you know? So, we'll see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Payout's going to dump the
market. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Exactly. Especially if they implement USDT, which I kind of think they're going to because that's what all the licensed platforms are using now. If they add USDT and it's international cash out, prices are just going to drop. There's nothing you can do about it. Meta Lemon says, flick play on...
Can I ask something on that?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say, now you have to have a bank account that matches your name. How do you do that with USDT? Like, how does that exactly work where they match your name and all this KYC stuff? Is that still possible?
You just have to be KYC'd with VeVe, and then they send it to your MetaMask, so you don't really have to be KYC'd with your MetaMask unless you want to cash out that USDT, which I cash out my crypto through Coinbase. So you would have to be KYC'd through Coinbase then, I think. All right, let me get to
this. You got the question.
Sure, go ahead, Mo.
Mitch got the question.
Oh, go ahead.
Especially with Biggest Bro. Let's say tomorrow VeVe, because again, what's really left to come out, right? You guys could tell me Pokemon, anime, right? All right, whatever, different verticals. All right, cool. Let's say VeVe comes out tomorrow and like, listen, guys, we're done. Like, no more drops, right? We're just gonna pack it up. But Disney comes out and says like, no one will ever make these NFTs, and they might still have utility, right? Like, there could be interoperability with other platforms, whatever. But would you guys actually hold your shit? Because I would. And I'm just curious, if you guys, like, if you knew that Disney and whatever would not reproduce these FAs and everything, like, would you guys if they said they're closing up shop, though? You know what I mean? No more drops ever on VeVe, no more new users. Like, am I the only one holding?
No,
I'd hold half. I'd hold some of it. I wouldn't hold it all, but
I think the prices would pump right off top, and they would go really high, and then I would sell then, and then I'd come back like 2 years later, come back 3 years later. Imagine how much the prices would have fell by then. I would think that the price would go up first and then come back down. What do you think, Biggest Bro?
Look, if they did that, so here's my thing. So there was a big thing where they were doing the price predictions back in the day when we only had a certain amount of collectibles. It was like Spider-Man's going to go to 100K and all that stuff. Everybody's throwing that picture around. That's because those are the only collectibles that we had. The prospect of them stopping, and this is what we have now, some of these things are going to start selling out just because we might have people start like, I do want Platinum Woody. You know what I mean? So if they did that, I'll love it because I'm set up for that. But like B said, like there's some stuff like, okay, yeah, I got to get rid of this Mormocoro. This isn't going to do anything anymore. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I'll be in.
Man, dissing the Murmurcornos here on Fudders, y'all.
I love them. I'm just,
of course you do.
What am I going to do with it?
Nothing at all.
Right.
I think you have a Murmurcorno fighting game, which I wouldn't be too opposed to. All right, let me check out MD's question from a minute ago that I wanted to get to. He says, we rebuy some stuff, Vault? If so, do you think we have bottomed, or are you just done with VeVe? I thought you were still going for the drops. Oh, yeah, I still go for the drops. I've actually been building my collection up. I did cash out a lot. I sold off a lot. I knew that the prices were just going to keep on coming down. If they're just going to keep coming down, then why am I holding stuff? That was my whole opinion on it. And then as I sold everything, I just had a bunch of gems, and I would cash out every once in a while. And they came down, but now I'm building it back up. And there are particular things that I'm always talking about that I want to buy whenever I start buying again. I'm big on the vehicles. I still don't know why everybody's sleeping on T-Rex. I don't even talk about T-Rex anymore. Man, T-Rex is a beast, bro. That's like Superman of the dinosaurs. I don't
That's
know.
your America Chavez right there, brother.
That's the America Chavez of dinosaurs right there.
That's right.
MD says, I wonder how much VeVe is paying for their licenses like Marvel, DC, and Disney. I imagine those licenses are very pricey. I hope they don't get financial trouble before the button really kicks in. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that. Let me bring up a quick article we'll look at that is kind of related to that. I'm going to move to our display for a second and bring this up right here. Did you know, for anybody who is on Dapper Labs, NBA Top Shot, NFL All Day is one of the Dapper Labs projects. It's, of course, the NFL one. And they were actually sued by the NFLPA because of their revenues. They are not making enough money. They signed a deal like you guys are talking about with a license where they were expecting to be making a certain amount of money, and they started off really well, 14.3 million in September 22, but now it's all the way down. It's lost 75% down to 3.5 million in 2023, and they're not happy about it. The licensors can get mad if you're not making enough money. Biggest Bro, do you think that's a problem that VeVe or any of these other platforms are going to have?
I mean, I collect on NFL All Day. I had a couple stuff, same thing with Top Shot, and I thought I was going to be like, all right, this is smart. You know, they got the plays and, you know, the players. This is great. And then you do nothing with it. And the only way that you can perform on the leaderboard is you buy all these stuff that you don't want. And it's like, oh, now you can get entered this one. It's like, oh, man. And then, you know, what I've seen out of those, playmakers is the one to do. Like I've seen that one. That one looks good. But the other ones, it bottomed out, man. It got boring. That's the thing. If it gets boring, it's gonna die. That's the thing.
See, here's the thing, though. Those are collectibles. We're talking sports collectibles here. You look at playmakers, you look at rainmakers. Those do well because they have utility. You look at the collectibles like NFL All Day and NBA Top Shot. They don't do well because they don't have utility. They're just collectibles. But aren't we talking about VeVe? Isn't that the same thing VeVe is, BE? Just collectibles. They don't have any utility. You look at Cryptoys. Cryptoys is the same brands, but they're going to have utility. You can play games with them.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously been promised utility, and we're not getting it. Hopefully we will at some point. But I mean, VeVe's getting a little boring. I'm really kind of getting pissed off with this waitlist thing. I used to get stuff, and now I don't get it anymore. I think a lot of people, again, I think I said this last time, you know, I want people in other countries and not in good areas to be able to win, but it's no fun. Like, I thought they were going to keep the comics as, like, you could just, like, go for it, and then the collectibles would waitlist. So, you know, I think if this gets boring, people are going to leave, and it's starting to get a little boring, in my opinion. But maybe we'll get utility. You know, I do appreciate that they're trying to have all this crafting stuff and buy this and you'll get that. That's cool that they're trying. They just got to lower their prices and still the amount of stuff. They haven't gotten that down.
Yeah, it was like the drop system itself was gamified, so we had a little bit of gamification there. We have some gamification snipe in the market, but then we lost the drop system, so we lost a little bit of gamification there. However, we might be getting MCP, and that's another type of gamification. So they got to keep it interesting because collectibles in themselves are kind of boring. Mo, are you bored? I don't know. You're a Moon Boy, so maybe you don't feel the same way.
Yeah, it's just funny because everybody keeps saying utility, David utility. It's more like utility at this point. Like, we just been fucking decapitated. And I really feel like when you look at stuff like Rainmakers and Playmakers, right, the fantasy aspect, right, because fantasy is massive. I mean, you know, if you're a young kid and they're like, hey, you know, let's put some bets on a game, parents are like, oh my God, you know, you can't do that to my child. But if you tell them to put a fantasy football lineup in, like, parents don't really seem to give a shit. You know, the same way they don't care about microtransactions and loot boxes, you know what I'm saying? I don't know though, man. I feel like they really need to just come out and finally get into something. Like I said, like, am I bored? No. But then you look at, like, what is VeVe actually doing? Well, we saw that Disney did the whole verse, you know, the game NFT thing with Disney or whatever. Like, that's a recent patent from April. Like, that's not old news. Like, that's recent shit. So that's coming, right? And David Yu is over there hanging out. He's not doing AMAs, but he's taking pictures with Ryu. You know what I'm saying? Throwing Hadoukens. And it's like, you know, I don't know, man. Like, if that actually comes to fruition, I think these conversations are going to be ridiculous. They're going to look ridiculous anyway in hindsight. But I don't know, man. Like, am I bored? I think I'm bored of just everything, man, except photo finish, obviously. But, you know,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but he's also, David, you also taking pics with Mewtwo, so you know we're not getting Pokemon, so what does the picture mean? Nothing to me, personally. Of course, there's people in the chat, like Not Sure, who definitely love the waitlist. They were not able to get any of the other drops at all, ever, because of the region they live in, along with his friends and family, and now that they have waitlist, it's brought a whole new passion to the game. Of course, you got people like Jeff, who thinks the waitlist took the fun out of the drop, so it's a give and take there on the waitlist. It was a move that they had to make, because everybody's just figuring out that the closest people to the AWS servers have an advantage, and you're not going to be able to grow internationally if people know that there's an advantage there. Florida State Makeover likes the wait list. Only missed one so far. I've only missed a couple. Metalemon says loot boxes have been getting banned in Europe, like EA and stuff. Ooh, that's interesting, because that could relate to some of the utility that they try to give these NFTs. Diddy says 100% waitlist takes the fun out of the drops, and rebounds suck. Now, rebounds are still cool, because rebounds are still closest person to the AWS server has the best chance, and it's a little bit gamified if you have to figure out the best way to be on the right page for when the button pops up, which we're trying to figure out at this point. Scar says waitlist rules. Also, MCP is already utility. It don't even work yet. Eventually the points will be able, yeah, but they don't even calculate correctly yet, so I can't give the MCP any love just yet. Fix that stuff. David, you has a picture with CZ as well. Doesn't mean nothing. It does mean nothing if he has a picture with CZ, because that's the guy from Binance, and Omi is never going to be on Binance. So how does that mean something? Please tell me, Squars. All right, Crypto.
Yo,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
I was gonna say, instead of like the wait list, instead of like what all this bullshit, MCP, what if we do a fight list? Like, what if everybody gets into the VeVeverse, right? What if the VeVeverse turns out to be a big battle royale lobby, and half hour before the drop, every VeVe user gets in there and just start pummeling the crap out of each other, and the last, whatever, if there's 2,000 mints, the last 2,000 standing. So you know what I'm saying? So I can be like, yo, VeVe, biggest bro, yo, maybe over in this corner here. I'm gonna be over by, Mo's garage, the smoking garage over there in the corner.
Can I put on my Red Hawk and then we start the battle?
Right.
Well, now you're asking a lot from VeVe. But let's just keep it basic. Let's just be thankful we're there.
So let's just be unboxing then. Gotcha.
Yeah, just some sort of VR boxing match or something. But I'd call it like the fight list. You know what I mean? Like, fight your way to get your mint. Like, if you really give a crap, well, prove it.
Shout out to Tony Dolce. He says, David, you took a picture with Elvis, so Elvis has been confirmed. Jeff says, I hit more drops during the highest bots than the waitlist. Really? 0 for 7 on the waitlist. I know there's some people who have not been lucky on the waitlist. I don't know what that's all about. It's just bad luck. There is one more important topic that I want to mention about VeVe before we end the stream, and that's from this tweet that Naked Well put out on Twitter today, talking about today's drop. The first NFT from VeVe minted on IMX on today's drop was a Captain America number 180 comic that was a rare, and it was edition number 8759. Most people are like, who cares? That's just the token ID. It's the first token ID. Nobody cares. We care about serial numbers. The problem is people are already paying more for these. That one sold for $40, and the person who bought it flipped it for $75 just because it was the first minted on IMX, even though the serial number is 8759. So I'll start with you, Mo. Does this change the whole concept of serial numbers on VeVe? Which one's more important? Have we been wasting our times buying low serial numbers in the first place?
Two things come to mind. One, a broken clock is right twice a day. Two, there's a sucker born every minute. If I ever live in a world where you try to sell something and some dude's like, oh, let me whip it out and check the IMX transaction ID, and it's like, bro, listen, all right, it ain't that serious. I think the serial number, because that will be displayed. That's going to be what's, put in front of you. People that want to do the extra work, it's the same people that go and do the extra work now. Like, you do some of it with the DC Comics. If you want to put in extra work, go for it. If there's someone that, wants to buy 000705 because they were born in July of 05, like, well, good on them. Hopefully whoever sold it made some extra money. But I don't really think it matters. I think serial number will always be far superior.
Well, token ID for VeVe is the same thing as token ID is for Palm, and so if they're ever interoperable and they're on the same marketplace, if Palm's comic shows the token ID, VeVe's comics will show the token ID. It's not going to show the serial number. Those are two different metadatas. I don't know. What do you think, B?
Well, you're trying to say that VeVe's going outside of their app and they're never going outside their app. Let's just get that right out the way.
Interoperability has been promised to us, sir.
Yes, with probably a login with VeVe button, like everybody else and their mother does nowadays with like Nike and Fortnite. I'm telling you, man, no, VeVe, it's not going to be, let's show the token ID. They will display the serial numbers, but that's...
Serial number.
Yeah, I think they're going to...
Serial numbers.
I mean,
let me put in one little caveat for you real quick, because serial numbers were always supposed to be the first one minted. And before, whenever we did drops, they used to send them out in order. They were the first ones minted onto Go Chain. And those serial numbers have the value because they're the first. And that precedent was set by CryptoPunks. They're valuable because they're the first on the blockchain. So shouldn't the lowest token ID be more important than the lowest serial number?
I mean, everyone's going to look for something to make money. I mean, right now we've decided that the low mints are the way to go. If somebody wants a higher mint one that was printed first or minted first or whatever, I mean, they can go buy it. I'm going to still go for, the last mint and the lowest mint. That's my bet. Maybe don't follow me, but we know people are buying these, right? And I think in the future they're still going to want to buy them. Somebody's going to want the last mint. They're going to want the very first available or number one. When you have to do a lot of work, and I've seen people do mint number games, this was his dog's birthday, he took a shit this day, and so it's worth extra because it was George Lucas's dog who took a shit. It's ridiculous. If I have to play games to figure out what's worth it, I don't know. But you might be right about what we see on the blockchain is going to be different than that mint number. But I have a feeling it's going to stay with the item, and I do not believe that Disney is going to be letting their stuff be interoperable. Maybe the artists, but I don't see Disney allowing that.
You might be right about that. Before I start to the moon boy of the conversation, though, let me add one more caveat to that, and that is the fact that VeVe mints all of their collectibles that they keep from each drop before anybody else. So all of their 375 comics of every drop are the first 375 comics minted onto IMX. So if this is a value proposition, once again, VeVe wins. What do you think about it, biggest bro?
Well, they win on both accords, right? Serial number and on the mint ID. I mean,
totally.
how I feel is the lazy way is going to win, right? I think that the people aren't going to look up the blockchain ID. Those people are sure they can do that all they want, and they'll make money in their little circle. That's cool. I go ahead, sir. I think the reason why the DC was the way it is because there were no serial numbers, right? And so some people had to find a different way of like, all right, how can I make this more valuable, right? And so they found the serial numbers, and good on them. I mean, that's why Chromegate is the best. I see Vault gets the 0 and the 2. You know what I mean? I'm like, go, my guy. But I always think the lazy way is going to win, especially for VeVe, and people aren't going to take the time. There's going, you know what? By all means, like just that post right there. Dr. Rolex is the one that bought that 75. So I mean, like the people that want it, they're going to get it. They have the money to do that, to play the game. So cool, those are well games.
It's going to be interesting to see if they have extra value in the future. I think probably you guys are right that the most important marketplace will always be VeVe's marketplace, and VeVe's marketplace are just going to show the serial numbers and not the token IDs at all. And also you get extra MCP for having lower serial numbers, not for having lower token IDs. So there's that. All right, let me check the chat. Tony Dolce says, I understand where Vault's coming from, but not many people are informed about that information. Yeah, you have to dig up to get it. And like the biggest bro said, the lazy way wins. Ronnie Lido says, the only information that ever really truly matters is the information. Yeah, like he said, the lazy man wins. Ronnie agrees. Let's see. Ronnie Lido says, like how they're, he's talking about the oil money guys who buy the low gold Lamborghinis, but then they pay high dollar for certain number license plates. Like people will pay extra for like the number 0001 license plate, which is just like getting a low serial number. So kind of wild how that works out too.
You guys all have custom license plates?
I don't, not personally.
I don't know.
Mine says Mo Cool.
Oof, mine would a Vault if I could. I'm sure it's
with a C or a K.
The K, of course.
Of course. All right, guys, before we end our live stream, our FUDDERS live stream, we always like to go around and talk about the one thing that we're looking forward to this week. If you don't know already, tomorrow we got stamps dropping, another presidential stamp series dropping on VeVe. Me personally, the one thing I'm looking forward to the most this week is Thursday's drop on DC Palm. I have my legendary fast flashiest man alive, so I'm qualified for it. The edition sizes are going to be super low, so it should be an interesting drop. Hopefully I'll pull some good rarities on it. Mo, what are you excited about for this week coming up?
I mean, I'm excited for the legendary flash drop as well, not because I own the legendary comic, but because we can finally put this debacle of a freaking key event behind us. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we could talk this for another hour. It was a boring ass event. I mean, the Superman ones were actually pretty cool. The Supergirl was dope. But outside of that, I think the whole event was just a flop. But I am looking forward to, like I said, being over. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I wonder if the event was a flop. That's hard to say. I mean, I felt like those Superman #1s would have done a lot better, but since they're doing as bad as they are, then you're probably right that it's a flop. There's a lot of low edition stuff in there, a lot of comics with only less than 200 total editions that are selling for like under $100, which seems like a flop to me. BE, do you think that event was a flop? And what are you excited for this week?
I mean, I wasn't that excited about it. I got the Superman one, and that's it. That's all I did. As far as this week, man, I just need some rest. I'm exhausted being married. It's exhausting.
Dude, you just started. You think it's exhausting? You only like 3 days in.
I'm kidding.
Our little BE finally became a man.
Shelby Cobra's not going to like to hear that. BE is flooding the institution of marriage. I'm just kidding. All right, biggest bro, what about you? Is there anything in particular looking forward to this week? I know for you it's probably something on VeVe, right?
The door. The door.
I
gotta get my
the door.
Of course,
and then
the Moon Boy.
We played the game of do I make the potion or not?
That's a good question too. Before we end the stream, let's go around and talk about it a little bit. Like, biggest bro, do you have a plan yet? Are you going to go for the door? And if you get it, do you plan on burning?
So last time I got the potion and I got a good mint number. I got number 900, and I was like, oh, I have to keep this potion.
Right.
And they said, I can't burn this potion. And even though I could have got a mini poster, and then I look at my potion go down, mini poster goes up. So what I instinctually want to do is burn the door for my Nemo, because I got a Nemo on the drop. But I'm not going to do that, of course. I'm going to keep a door. That's what's going to happen.
Really? You're keeping the door? See, I told I didn't say tell everybody, but I kind of like suggested that the potion was going to be way better than the posters, and I kept my potion, but those posters are now worth a whole lot more. I think this time I will burn my door. However, if it was another potion, which I wish it would have been, then I would have kept the potion to go with my first potion to start a potion collection, but a potion in the door, those don't go together so well. BE, what's your plan for the Casper door? And it's not Casper, is it? The Boo door.
Boo door.
Yeah, well, whatever I do, it's gonna be the wrong decision. I do have the Nemo. See, here's what I'm afraid of. If I go for the poster, the last one did very well. This one's gonna do crappy, and the door is gonna be worth $1 million. So I won't even, since I can't win on this waitlist crap, But if I can get one on the waitlist and I can pick one up, man, I got to decide if I get rid of that. If I wouldn't mind the Nemo poster. I mean, I talked about it before. I think that's probably a good one to have, but I don't know. If I only get one door, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'll just wait until the last moment and decide.
It's kind of a unique time because we already have the one that happened just before it. So I feel like everybody's going to burn their doors because everybody feels like the posters are now better than the transformative item because we've already had one before. So if everybody does that and you keep the door, maybe the door is more scarce than the potion and the door ends up being worth a lot. Mo, what do you think?
Well, I don't own any of the previous items that you need for the burn, but when you're a kid, some kids I like toy trains, some's like cranes, some's like planes and automobiles. I was always fascinated by doors. Just something about the frames, the locking mechanisms. If you just kind of like caress the nipple of the frame, it's something. It's life changing. It's life altering. So you bet your sweet ass I'm going for the Boo door. I'm going to join the wait list. I'm going to be first in line. And yeah, I'm here for it, man. Sign me the fuck up.
Man, if I ever go to Mo's house, remind me to wear gloves before I touch any of his doorknobs because he seems to like doors a lot more than anybody that I've ever met before. But hey, each their own, absolutely. So Mo is definitely going to be stacking doors. He's a huge door fan, a door collector even. And all right, we're going to end the live stream. A big shout out to the biggest bro for once again being our guest and for doing a great job as the guest as always. That's why we love having you on as our resident.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming again.
You, and also to BE and Mo, thank you guys for co-hosting with me. Appreciate you guys for expressing your opinions and giving us the alpha every week.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us, brother.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And we will be back next week for next week's Fudders, doing some more FUDs. So keep your eyes on the Twitters and the news. And let us know if you hear of any bad news that you want us to talk about next week. All right, guys. Have a great week. And we'll see you on the next one. Later.
See you, motherfuckers.
Peace.
Damn.